yesterday the North Node just left Cancer and went into Gemini. So we know that the North Node goes the opposite way. So what's really significant, or what we have to do with the North Node inside of Gemini, since the South Node is inside Sagittarius. Sagittarius like religion, like just believing in things, preachers, uh, far distant, traveling. Gemini is short distance, logic is more logical and not just believing anything. So it's going to make us look at things in a more logical way. Sorry about the sound, they doing work next door. But alright, so you have like the preacher versus the Buddha. So since the South Node is inside of Sagittarius, we'll be moving away from just beliefs and even long traveling, like things like that, because Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, and that's long distance traveling. So a lot of people are going to start seeing the beauty within their community and people on a day-to-day basis, because Gemini is more like people who you communicate it with every day, and it's short traveling distance, because the opposite is long traveling. So it's short traveling. So it's more like people want to see the electromagnetic fields that's inside of their communities, because now we're going to be knowing about sources of power and chi and prana and all things. So people are going to be able to find things like that, or new amazing. So with Gemini being the people you are close to and people who you interact with, it's going to be more of people doing business with people who they see on a day-to-day basis, other than doing it with foreigners. And you see like the paradigm that we live in with all this coronavirus, and people can't travel too far anyway. So it's really showing you as above, so below, that people are going to be forced to look at it from a different way and say, you know what, I can work with him down the street, because can't work with the foreigners no more for a little while, because this energy gonna be like till 2022, it says. Also, you see, it's saying we have to move away from just believing in any foolishness. So we seeing how what's going on with the pastors and the church, because they still asking people for money, knowing people going through all this stuff. So Sagittarius is the teacher and Gemini is the student. So right now we have to dominate this energy is to be like a child mind, like curiosity, trying to learn, but don't thinking like you didn't grab the whole concept. Like you have to be like child, like questioning everything, because what worked for everybody might not work for you, and question all the old belief systems also, because we trying to get away from the South Node and go towards the North Node. The North Node is like the North Star that the slaves was following. So they say when you follow your North Node, it's you following success, you following your mission of what you came back to Earth to do. So since the whole world North Node is in Gemini, so it's making everybody have to adopt the Gemini like way, what could be Tupac ways. You feel me? Like shit, Tupac was like fuck that. Like when they said Illuminati was true, he was like, how y'all know? He like Farrakhan and all these people talking about the government coming to get you in the Illuminati and this and that, and it made that the Illuminati slogan and all that, because he gonna question everything. He don't give a fuck if he, because you know his people came up on the Nation of Islam, and he still ain't give a fuck. He like, man, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. How y'all know all this then? So like, it make you become the Buddha and not the preacher. With no disrespect, it make you become the Buddha. You feel me? And not the preacher. when the South Node was in Capricorn just now, it brought down a lot of the politic things and like letting everybody try to be with the system. And you see right before the new changes and all that, the whole thing shut down. But what was the North Node? The North Node was still in Cancer. And what is Cancer? Cancer is the home environment and all of that. So it made us, because it was people already saying about home businesses all over, Facebook and IG and all that. So it was showing you of how to take advantage of the North Node, and they was taking advantage of it if they know it or not. The law is no respect of no man. As long as you fucking using the principles, they don't give a fuck if you know it or not. So they was still using it. The outcome of when the South Node was in Capricorn, when we break through all the work and all that stuff, and now we just home, it made the politics say, now alright, we have to give them something to stay home, and now they have to nurture us at the house instead of we nurturing them all day while we working. So it like flipped the switch. Like when Dre said, I just flipped the switch. It's really what this talking about right now. The North Node switching the switch. Because when the North Node switch, this will go down. So that was the outcome of us going with the North Node Cancer and coming out of just the South Node that was Capricorn and corporations and working and public officials and things like that. So you'll be having a North Node return if you are the ages of 18, 37, 55, and 74. And this is a time when fated events could play out and move you towards your life or your destiny to look at life at a different way. So I remember when I was 18 and I had mine, I went to jail and I started looking at life a different way. Something basically like that. And if you are 27, 46, 64, or 83, you have the reverse node wherever your North Node was at when you was born, it'd be in the reverse one. So it'd be in the opposite sign. So if you was born and it was Sagittarius, it'd be in Gemini right now. And that'll be like a time for you to look at things different, to reconsider everything that you've been through your whole life. Like it's like time when you put everything in question. What's your priorities now? How do you see the world now? All that. So it'll be a big time for you also.